Hi, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to you this last day of January here in New Zealand, and I think the 30th of January for most of you around the world. I thought just before we launch into another month, that this is an opportunity to look at how 2021 has begun, the kind of trajectory that the planets are indicating, and how things are beginning to feel as we move into the second month of this year. Well, it would be an understatement to say that things are not intense. It would certainly be an understatement to say that things are not moving now. Last year, 2020, we had so many retrogrades. Everything was really slow and sticky. But now we've got much more forward momentum this year. And you may find yourself saying, gosh, things are speeding past and I can hardly catch my breath before there's something else that's happened that causes me to have to change, to be more adaptable. So I just really, first of all, like to thank Lucy for being here today. I know she's having a few little technical challenges, and maybe many of us are, because Mercury just retrograde in Aquarius until the 21st of February. And Aquarius, of course, ruling technology, ruling our cell phones, our computers, our communication systems. So don't be surprised if your technology is a little choppy. In the middle of our conversation yesterday, Lucy, as we were preparing the handouts and slides for the next webinar, all of a sudden my Apple computer decides it's going to do a massive upgrade and close everything down. It's never done that before, but okay. So I've called this video People Power. I can't see the rest of it because I've just got it all a little bit big here, but Aquarius energy really is strong and getting stronger as we move into these first 2 weeks of February. Because on February the 11th, we've got a new moon in Aquarius. So right now, let's look at this Aquarian energy and what it means. Sun, Venus, Mercury retrograde, Jupiter, Saturn, all in Aquarius, and Pluto inching towards Aquarius. Won't actually go into Aquarius until 2023, but nonetheless, there are signs of the energy of Pluto in Aquarius. So what does all this mean? Well, for those of you who've been following the latest news, it's been very interesting what's happened on the stock markets these last couple of days with the company Gamestop. Basically what's happened, without going into the intricacies of it, is that people got together and pushed up the price of a company that the hedge funds and the big boys, the billionaires, predicted, shorted on the market, that the price would go down. And People Power came together and said, no, let's just play a different game here. I think it's very interesting that the company's called Gamestop. End to the games, end to the casino, end to the gambling, end to the way the billionaires, I think, have gained something like 50 or 60% more wealth during this last year. And so people now, there's like a coming together with the Aquarian energy of saying, hey, what happens when we unite? What can we do that will blow open the system, that will blow open the circuits, That's the energy that we are under, especially for this next couple of weeks. So things are going to be exposed, things coming out. Aquarius seeks truth. It doesn't settle for anything less. So it wants to know what the hell's going on here. Uranus rules Aquarius. Uranus is in Taurus. And Taurus rules money, finance, wealth, big business, banks, corporations. So I think we're going to see, as indicative of Uranus in Taurus, a lot more turbulence in the markets. It seems that the World Economic Forum has predicted that by 2030, one of their predictions is that you will own nothing and you will be happy. So there are going to be massive changes to ownership. Who owns what? Does anybody own anything ultimately? In New Zealand, ultimately all property and land apparently belongs to the Queen of England in some very indirect way. So the rules about ownership are about to be exposed and about to be changed. And the question is, how can we together come together to create the kind of equitable system where everybody gets their needs met, but it is not run by a hierarchical organization that keeps us under constant surveillance and we're being watched all the time? Because Uranus, Aquarian energy has to do with our technology. Is our technology being used in a positive way where we can connect? Like this, isn't this beautiful with my beautiful soul family? We're connected. Or is it being used for more nefarious reasons? And with the Aquarian energy, can we, the people, bring out the corruption, bring out the things that have been hidden and suppressed for many, many decades? And now is the opportunity to create a new kind of system. But don't be surprised if stock markets are going to be much more volatile. And if the paper markets, because the paper markets are just that, they are paper, and paper can burn, and paper can disappear. And we're going to be looking at what is real money, what is real currency, what is the real value between us, how can we value one another. This is going to be the subject, the meat of the subject, I feel, moving forward with these kinds of aspects. Now, very strongly for the next couple of weeks, we've got a ton of squares, ton of energy going on. It's a great question, Maria Joanna. Will people be willing to work if they cannot own anything? Now, that's a very good question. So that suggests that people are working in order to accumulate and to own things, or to have things, or to have their needs met. So we're working to get our needs met. Yes, that's certainly part of the picture. But if your basic needs were taken care of, what kind of work and what talents inside of you would you develop that would contribute to an entirely different energy? Instead of people working to live, doing jobs and things that they don't like. This is why the whole job market is changing at this time, because there has to be a fundamental shift to doing what you love. Lucy, welcome back. Thank you. So what's real? What's tangible? Land is tangible. But also what is tangible, because Aquarius, this Aquarian age, really important, is our social capital. the people connections that you have. Here you've got an online family, a supportive, inspiring, loving family here. You can, of course, speak out what is important to you, and that's important, but it is done with the intention of coming together and not with the intention of butting heads and parting, always fighting, and then one walking in one direction and another walking in another. So this Aquarian energy, how are we dealing with the need for every being to have freedom, the need for every being to have independence, and yet be a part of this amazing whole? I think we're going to see a continuation of the riots, the revolutionary energy. The Netherlands, France, the UK, Australia, the US, Russia, Serbia, Belgium, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, you name it, there's been riots in more places around the world during these last months, probably, than there's been for a very, very long time. So the people are restless. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what the hell is going on. What's being rolled out here? What are we not seeing? Where do I need to stand up for what is really important to me? And the squares with the Mars and Uranus together. This is an energy of butting heads. It's an energy of, you're wrong, I'm right. It's an energy of finding it very difficult to see the other person's perspective. And sometimes that's not easy. We were supposed to move house this last week. Last Thursday, we were all set, all excited, packed up everything, had all my paintings off the walls. They're sitting on boxes at the moment because we didn't actually move. And we went to pick up the keys a few hours before the move and walked into the house, and the stench was unbelievable. It stank of chemicals and musty and yuck, and it wasn't really cleaned very properly, very well. And so what to do? We had moving vans. We'd given notice on our apartment. But you can't move into a house where the carpets are sticky and gluey and horrible. Big surprise, didn't anticipate this. What to do? Do we need to go and buy a tent? Do we need legal advice, tenancy tribunals? What do you do when you can't move into the house that was promised to you, that would be professionally cleaned, carpets and cleaned, when it isn't? So the Aquarian energy is encouraging you to keep your cool, even if things get very intense, because intense they are. So how to keep the cool, how to find out what needed to be done, whether we could get any legal help, whether we could get out of the contract. We can't in New Zealand. Once you're signed in, you're signed in. So we had to make the best of it. And I have to say, I'm really lucky that I've got a beautiful soul family who were very, very good and kept their heads quite cool. And on our money, we've had the carpets professionally cleaned. We're going to get the house professionally cleaned. And we're paying for it because what else to do? It's not a comfortable situation, but that's how it's turned out. And other than pitching a tent somewhere, that's the way we're handling it. And if we decide to file some kind of a tribunal thing, we'll do that afterwards. But for right now, it just had to be okay. How to deal with a rather unpleasant situation and make the very best of it, and use that Aquarian energy of, okay, we can solve this. We can work through this. We'll find a way. And this quote came up and I thought, this is a good quote. Imagine that every person in the world is enlightened but you. They are all your teachers, each doing just the right things to help you. Now, if you'd shown me that the moment I realized that we couldn't move in our house and how I felt about the agent, I might not have agreed with you. But what I find is that you get these obstacles, and if you're ready to face them and you're ready to walk through them, you come through stronger, you come through better. So anything that you're afraid of, anything that you're facing right now that is really difficult, just know that you're going to come through this better and stronger than you were before. And what are you going to learn? What are you going to learn from it? I think this is a great quote too. This kept me a little sane these last few days. Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun, by Alan Watts. Oh, thank you, Tanya. I appreciate that. So hopefully we'll be moving in this coming week. Everything is reorganized again. The cleaners at this end, the movers at this end, all the things that you organize. And most important, you see, in this Aquarian energy, because we are moving, we've had this 800-year time in Earth energies of Jupiter, Saturn energy. And now we come into this new, entirely new paradigm where we're leaving behind the fossil fuels, we're leaving behind the world of oil, and we are moving into the world of data and information and social connection. And it is our social capital that will be the key to our rising of the consciousness and the use of these energies in a way that is very positive. So it's your social connections, your social networks, the people that you feel uplifted by, the people that make you go, whoa, and the people who also may call you on your truth, may say, hey, and this is what these, I have to say, Eckhart and Rochelle, they're wonderful. You know, they may only be in their 20s, but boy, they sit me down and they say, hey, we're feeling something here. Whatever you're not comfortable with, share it. Let's get it out. So a lifetime of being a very polite Brit who sort of skirts around the issues, and with two wonderful South Africans who are right direct. And it's new and it's refreshing and it's very Aquarian. So expect the unexpected. Expect some drama, because the opposite sign, it's always important when you study the astrology to study the opposite signs, because when there is a preponderance of planets in one sign, as we have with the Aquarian energy for the next couple of weeks, especially, then the other sign, Leo, is very activated. And Leo has to do with drama, the dramatics. And if you can see the drama that may be playing around you, and certainly is playing out globally, it's dramatic, isn't it? Yeah. First, Fauci says, don't wear a mask. Then he says, wear a mask. And now he says, wear two masks. It's great, isn't it? We had somebody come over to do a proper carpet clean, and he was the carpet surgeon. And he came all dressed up, all smart in suits, you know, really as though they were the highest echelons of knowledge of how to clean a carpet. And he knew everything that had happened. He said, yes, there's been a cat here, there's been an animal there, behind that door, there's been something. He just knew everything. So we managed, despite, I can say, a few tears on my part for sure, to find some fun in this, to see when was I in the act of being the crying victim? Oh dear. And all these various acts and personalities that come out in response to challenge, in response to unexpected changes. And you're going to have more and more unexpected changes. So, expect more disruption. But because of the Leo energy, set your heart, Leo is the heart energy, set your heart on doing good. Do it over and over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. That's a quote from Pema Chodron, probably not saying her correctly. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't her quote. Her quote is this one. Oopsie daisy, that was an anonymous one. Expect the unexpected. Thank you, Teddy. Oh, and thank you to so many of you who keep offering to send me teddies. I really appreciate it. Yes, I do. And who send me photos of your teddies. Thank you very much, Anne. I appreciate that. So Pema Chodron says, if we learn to open our hearts to anyone, including the people who drive us crazy, everyone can be our teacher. So you may have certain ones driving you crazy. There might be people around you. They might be people in politics. Just be aware that this is a time where we've got to come together. There is power in our unity, not in our separation. So whilst I have to say, I did get a lot of enjoyment out of seeing the people power with Gamestop and sending that price up and causing the hedge funds to lose billions in a very short amount of time. I did get some joy from that, I have to confess. But seeing it from the higher perspective of the Aquarian energy, ultimately, we've all got to find ways to work together, all of us. And that includes working with these billionaires and finding ways in which we can communicate, understand one another, and not come from this place of greed. This place of more. This is the dysfunctional ego. When I started talking to various people about things that have happened to them with landlords in New Zealand, spoke with somebody who was 8 months pregnant. And she said to the landlords, you know, they wanted to hike the rent, something incredible. She said, can you please give us a few more months at this house? We've been here over a year. No. They literally threw them on the street within 5 days with an 8th month pregnant person. Another one, 24 hours notice of a 20% rent hike. Because every year the landlords here in New Zealand can raise the rent to any level they want. There is no law as to how much they can raise it now. They can just raise it. Used to be every 6 months. It's getting better. So what are we doing that is not kind? What are we doing that is not generous? Where can you give somebody a little breathing space, a little kindness? And certainly there are boundaries. I'm not saying that because Aquarian energy has got the boundaries. It's Aquarius, interestingly, is ruled by Saturn and Uranus, the past and the future. And it bridges this energy of what do we need to release and let go of from the past, and how do we want to create our future. The future's not set yet. It's malleable, it's changeable. What is it that we want to create here? So, MO12, there is power in a band of working folk when we stand hand in hand. Absolutely. Hand in hand. Thank you to so many of you who are liking the video. As you like the video, more of our family can join us. So I appreciate that. And Lucy's really encouraging you to do that. And so are many also here online. So I'm very grateful for this community that we're building together. The things that you pull out of me are not planned. I have a few little sketches of an odd quote here and there, but for the most part, this is us co-creating together. Lovely quote here from The Prince and the Pauper. And this is why I'm saying we've even got to come together with the greedy billionaires, because it's not only the billionaires that are greedy. There is greed going on everywhere, of a fear of lack, a fear of not enough. And yet if we used our resources wisely, there would be more than enough to go around. Michelle, thank you for that. I look forward to having you tomorrow on the webinar. Thank you. So Aquarian energy is very much Uranian, which is the higher mind. How are we using the highest mind? Okay, you see, Alison's telling us that the new law in Canada, they can only increase the rent by 1.4%. Okay, and yes, we do have to have, sadly, laws and regulations to regulate at the moment, until we can raise a lot higher as a whole. But just look in your own life. Where am I holding on? Where are my expectations so high that they can't really be met? My expectations were so high about this move, so excited to be moving into this lovely house and all nice and and it was just anything but that. And I built it up, and so I had to be pulled all the way down. So, and I'm back up again, by the way. It's all okay. But where are you now holding on? And as we've had this intense full moon in Leo, and now the moon energy is beginning to wane. So we've got the waning moon as we go towards the new moon in Aquarius on February the 11th. So now is a time for releasing, for letting go, for detoxifying. It's the out breath. Yeah, we're not building up and charging ourselves up now. Now it's just like, okay, let things go. Yeah, you've had the intensity, but keep letting it go. Keep letting go. Keep knowing that it is our connections with one another where the focus must be. That is going to be the key to creating the kind of future that we want. Because Aquarius, the higher mind, all these wonderful minds, imagine if we work together with one power mind. All the solutions that we could find for our food problems, our climate issues, our health issues, all of that. If we're working together with one mind, Aquarian energy, and with one heart, Leo energy. So that's the energies that we're working with. And because we've got this Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, this is a wonderful time to get your problem-solving hat on and to say, okay, I don't have an answer at the moment. Let me go off and do something else. Let's come back to it. I can solve this problem. There's another way of looking at this. There's another way of seeing this perspective. There's another way. And Mercury retrograde, whilst it's not the best time for signing new contracts, getting into new deals, launching something new, not brilliant. If you do it, fine, but just check it, check it, check it. Because often you have to repeat things. But just to be stronger. Thank you very much, Jeb. Can share working on raising your vibration. You're feeling the energy of the full moon, yeah? So the main thing is, if you connect with others, it really is in the power of our connections. The power of the individual to realize your highest potential, and then to bring your gifts, your talents to the collective and to contribute. That's the purpose, that each of us shines our light as brightly as possible. Don't blow off another's candle, for it won't make yours shine any brighter. So let's not blow out anybody else's candle. That's hard to do when you're really pissed with someone, when you're really annoyed with somebody, when somebody or a situation you're really upset with, you want to blow out their candle. It's not going to help. Just keep lighting the candles of the people that are easier at first. Keep lighting those. And then gradually you start to build a flame. So I just want to thank you for being here. I'm so grateful to have this beautiful connection with you. The live chat's a bit peculiar today. Lucy's in and out of it. And I'd just like to close by sharing a quote from dear Summer Bacon. She was my most wonderful trance coach, helped me a lot as I was opening up to the channeling with the Pleiadians. So do check her out on summerbacon.com. She's a very clear channel. She's got a ton of free information on her website for those of you who are interested in the channeling. And her latest doctor, because she channels Dr. Peebles, and one of her quotes from her newsletter that he said very recently is, if you're going to be using your cellular telephones, we ask that you use them for creating more love in the world. So from my heart to yours, may your hearts keep opening and opening. May my heart keep opening more and more and more. Keep a cool head with your Aquarian energy. Come up with new solutions, new ideas. There's always a way around everything. A new perspective. Thank you, Lucy, very, very much. Thank you, everybody, my beautiful soul family, for those of you who contributed to this channel. For my Patreon supporters, thank you. For those on the webinars, don't forget to join me for the webinars. Week 4 of Astrology 101 Beginners is tomorrow. And I welcome you with open arms. Much, much love to you from New Zealand. Bye for now.